Sun's up, energy's up, and so are we.
Greet the day's smile and say, Good morning, city!
This is The Vibe with Malika on Radio 44.
A very good morning to you. How are you doing? You're listening to Radio 44. Now, let me tell you something. In case you have dreams to study in Australia for your kids, and if your kids are listening and they're thinking, that is exactly what I want, we have you covered. I've got Koala Education consultants with me in studio, directors Monica and Farouk Lalji with me. They're going to be telling us all about the process. They've also, by the way, got that exclusive Study in Australia fair on Friday, 27 September. Mark your calendar. It's happening at Novotel, Nairobi. Kicks off from 10 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. So you can meet top university representatives from across Australia there. It's free entry, and you can also get assessments and expert advice from the industry professionals right there. So this conversation comes at you in just a few short minutes. For now, it's AP Dillon, Shreya Ghoshal. You know the vibe. It's Thodi Si Daru. Alrighty, definitely a Friday tune coming at you. I'm Malika, this is The Vibe, and we are talking all about Koala Education Consultants. I've got Monica and Farouk Lalji in studio with me. Welcome.
Thank you, Monica. Good morning to you.
Yes. How are you feeling, Monica?
All good, thank you. Thank you for having us. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Farouk?
Morning, all our listeners, and we're looking forward to explaining what Koala Education Consultants does.
Absolutely. In fact, let's jump right into it. What sets Koala Education apart? If you can tell us a little bit about that, from the study abroad perspective, for sure.
Malika, I think let me start out by saying that Koala Education Consultants have been around for 25 years now. We are celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. We specialize in Australia. We've always been very Australia focused. We provide counseling services, application, visa processing, accommodation arrangements. We do the whole package for students who wish to study in Australia. And I think Australia as a destination has always, it's growing. Obviously, it's a very welcoming country. It's a very diverse, multicultural environment in Australia. They're very welcoming of students, of international students.
Absolutely. Farouk, what would you say to that?
Yes, we are a single destination focused company, so we really do know Australia. I think that is our key point, and those are what Monica has mentioned is Australia is a growing market and has been over the last 25 years.
So that makes it a very attractive, destination for students particularly?
Yes, it does. Also, I think to add, of course, with Australia, as I said, it's a very welcoming country. It's a very diverse, multicultural country. Obviously, students get internationally recognized qualifications. There are opportunities for post-study visas, post-study work experience in Australia. So it's a very attractive destination for students at the moment.
Right. And those coming from Kenya particularly, what highlights do they have when they're heading to Australia for them?
I think one of the major things is that it's a very easy adjustment for students from Kenya, because Australia being again in the southern hemisphere, it's the same weather patterns, the environment is quite similar. So I think our students from Kenya find it quite easy to adjust to life in Australia.
Right.
There's also a very large Kenyan community that's established already in Australia, because students have been going for a number of years. As I said, Koala is 25 years old. So we've been sending students for 25 years now. So there's a fantastic Kenyan community that's already established in Australia. So it's a big help, obviously, for the new students who then go to Australia. They've got a lot of support. They've got a lot of help once they're there.
Amazing. I mean, definitely, those harsh winters are something they can avoid probably out there. Actually, I had a friend of mine who was telling me, his sister they had this intense winter experience. She was the first time out there, in a different part of the world, North America sides, and it was so cold. She actually got lost in the snow for one of the days, and it was just such a traumatic experience for her. Of course, she learned from it, but yeah, better weather, always a plus.
Yes, always a plus. I think people people underestimate the how much of an impact it can have on students. But generally, Australia, I mean, it's mild weather. There are winters, of course. Certain parts of Australia do get a little bit cold, but also the weather patterns are exactly similar. So when we have our sort of winter months in Kenya, it's the same in Australia, and when we're now coming into sort of our summer here, it's similar in Australia.
It's the small things, right? It's the small things that make such a big impact.
And sometimes they do make a very, very big difference to students. Yes.
And I think one of the big things is the sporting culture. So Australia is extremely sports oriented, and the good thing is we share the same sports, from cricket to football to rugby. They have international teams on their side, and we've seen some of our Kenyan students participate in some of the big leagues in Australia now.
Amazing. All right. So Australia is the place to be when it comes to international education. Definitely one to be at the top of your books to consider. As we carry this conversation forward, you can also send in some questions. 0758 123 444. Stay with us.
Hear the hits. Watch the hits.
We play the hits.
Hit music all day.
Like this. I am what I say, yes, I go. Your number one hit music station.
We are Radio 44. Your music, your life.
Nikita Gandhi with that one. Asha Sapera alongside her. It's Holia. Coming through on the vibe definitely gives you the Friday feeling. I'm Malika. In studio with me, I have Monica and Farouk Lalji, directors of Koala Education Consultants, still talking all about studying in Australia. Of course, there is this amazing Study in Australia fair on Friday, 27th September, Novotel, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So, Monica, tell me a little bit more about the universities that are going to be at the fair and the variety of, courses that they have on offer.
So Malika, we've got, as you mentioned, a big Australian education fair coming up. We typically do these fairs twice a year, where we invite Australian institutions to actually come to Kenya. So for this particular event, we have about 20 institutions, 20 from across Australia, with a wide range of courses, everything from medicine to nursing to health to other health programs, engineering, business, law, IT, cybersecurity. They offer a whole range of programs. So all these universities have representatives who are going to be in country. So the fair is happening, as you said, at the Novotel Hotel on Saturday, the 27th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we encourage all prospective students and parents to please come out to this event to get some very detailed information on their study options that are available in Australia.
All right, so next Saturday, definitely want to, book into your calendar for sure. Farouk, what would you say about this as well?
So we don't only have universities participating. We also have what we call the TAFE institutions from Australia participating. These are government-run vocational institutes, and they provide some of the best and the highest skill levels in vocational training. You have courses like plumbing, electrical engineering, hospitality, nursing, all done at vocational level, and these jobs actually lead degrees actually lead to amazing jobs and opportunities in Australia and all over the world.
Amazing. So I think it's interesting to see that vocational courses are now also being given, the limelight that they deserve, because sometimes they are able to bridge you into a career that, you may not require, let's say, a 3 to 4 year degree for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think vocational courses are now actually probably the most in demand, and in Western countries all over, they actually pay even better than some of the traditional mainstream degrees that students seem to get.
Right. Right. And speaking of, what students are also looking to get, scholarships are one of those things. They're a big draw. What kind of opportunities are available for those students who will be attending the fair?
So most Australian universities at the moment do offer scholarships. Full scholarships are a little bit difficult to come by at the undergraduate level, but certainly at the postgraduate PhD level. Those are very, very possible. But even at the undergraduate level at the moment, as I mentioned, most Australian universities are offering anywhere from 5 to 10 to up to 25%. A lot of the scholarships are merit-based, so depends on grades. But certainly there are plenty of scholarships that are on offer at the moment with Australian institutions.
And it's great that you mentioned that, because we're not just looking at undergrad students coming through, right? Yes. Even those who are looking at their masters, at their PhD, and going further in their educational journey, it would definitely be a great time to visit the fair.
Absolutely. So majority of our students obviously undergraduate or what's called bachelor's degrees, but we certainly have every year we have a huge cohort of students going for their masters and PhD. So typically students who might have finished a degree locally or somewhere else in the world, and are now looking to maybe go to Australia to further that education. Absolutely, all those programs, and there's a large variety of programs also available at the postgraduate and of course PhD level as well.
Amazing. Stay with us, because we will be chatting all about the visa process next and how Koala can help you in that journey. A little bit of Jay Sean on the playlist for you, alongside Lil Wayne right there. It's Down. Purely a throwback nostalgia vibe with that one. All right, we're still talking all about education in Australia with Monica and Farouk Lalji, directors of Koala Education. And, we're talking about visas right now, because the visa process, walking alongside a student going to Australia, is so important, and, guiding them in many ways. Monica, what do you think? How does Koala Education support them through that journey?
So Malika, visa process can be a very daunting process for most students and parents. I think it can be very complicated, and I think that's where one of the strengths lies with Koala. It's one of our major strengths. We have an almost 100% visa success rate over the years, and what we do is we completely guide the student. We completely walk through the process, so to speak, with the student and the parent. All the guidelines are given, what kind of documentation is needed. We are always up to date. We get regular briefings from the Australian High Commission as to what the requirements are in terms of the documentation. So we sort of hold your hand through the whole process, and we make sure that your application is complete and the documentation as per the requirements of the High Commission. The visa processing times can vary, of course. We always tell students to apply as far in advance as possible, and again we guide them with that to right from the beginning of the process. But that is one of Koala's major strengths, is the visa processing. So we will guide the student and the parent through the entire process.
Yeah, I know visa processes in general can be very tricky, especially, for students who have never probably had to do the application themselves. Their parents may have been doing it when they were younger and things like that. So it's important to have your documents, your photographs, your copies and originals, and all of that.
And this is, so as I said, it can seem very complex and complicated, but we make that easy for you. We sort of, we give you a list of documents, and your only job is to actually gather the documents, bring them to us. We will check them, we will verify them, we will make sure they're complete, and then we will actually process the visa on behalf of the student.
Brilliant. I'm sure that's a big relief for many.
So what happens there is that everything is lodged on through the online Koala portal into the Australian immigration website. And so for a student, all they have to do is actually go for the medicals and nothing else. Everything else, and maybe biometrics at one of the visa centers, but everything else is handled by Koala. And we also ensure that The bookings for your medicals and biometrics are all done within our office. So it's a very, very seamless process.
Sounds like a one-stop shop, which is such a relief for many, I'm sure. And, you know, speaking of parents and guardians, how about them attending the fair with the students? You know, what's the vital aspect here that they should definitely come alongside the students?
Oh, I think parents are the most important actually in the process. They're the final decision makers at the end of the day, because it is a very big decision for students and parents to make in terms of the study destination. So I think it is extremely important for parents to come and actually meet the representatives from the universities face to face. It makes a huge difference talking to somebody who's actually from the institution. I mean, Koala is always here on the ground to assist, but these are great opportunities that come up, as I said, a couple of times a year. When we actually have representatives here, parents can ask them all kinds of questions about courses, entry requirements, scholarships. We'll be on hand, of course, to give information on visas and so on. But I think if parents could could take the time, I think it makes the whole process a lot easier for them because they get that understanding right from the beginning. And of course, meeting somebody from the university or the college makes a huge difference to begin with.
Yeah, and as we were talking, just a bit off air, that parents nowadays start planning way, way in advance for their children's tertiary education down the line.
Exactly. So I think whether it's Australia or any other destination, there is the whole financial aspect and so on to be concerned about. So I think the earlier parents get all the information they need about all the options that are available, I think it helps them to make that informed decision well in time.
I think that's great, even for parents and guardians with children who are not yet at the age to start heading towards tertiary education. It would definitely be worth their while to visit the fair happening on 27th Saturday at Novotel from 10 a.m. Amazing. Farooq, anything you'd like to add in terms of something parents should consider when looking at study abroad options?
Well, I think first of all, if your child is coming up to the point of looking at an undergraduate destination, I would say 2 years prior would be a good time, and sort of come and see and come and understand. Obviously, the finances are probably the biggest part of this process, and it's good to know or to get this information so you can plan if it's a matter of savings or if it's a matter of adjusting your financial situation. It's good to have this in advance rather than waiting till the last moment to do these things.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we've got you covered with all the details. Join me right here shortly in a few minutes as we wrap up, because I've got a few more interesting questions to ask Monica and Farooq right here. But for now, it's Nikita Gandhi, Bali Soni. Happy Friday. It's a brand new one with Neha Kakkar and Tony Kakkar. It's Badmash coming through on the vibe. Right, we're wrapping up this conversation with Koala Education. Monica and Farooq have been so insightful in telling us all about studying in Australia and what you can expect at the fair on 27th September, Friday at Novotel from 10 a.m. Just as we bring this conversation to a close, what can attendees expect when they walk into the Study in Australia fair and the experience of it all?
So Malika, as we were talking earlier, there's going to be about 20 institutions, universities and colleges present at the event, and I think again it's a great opportunity for students and parents especially to walk in, have a one-on-one conversation with representatives from these particular institutions, anything they want to know about courses, about scholarships, about fee structures, entry requirements, all the information is going to be available right there for them. It's just a great, I think, opportunity really for parents and students to be able to come and get this information all in one place. As I said, we normally do this typically twice a year, and it's just it opens up a lot of options for students and parents. to come and get this information. And like we've been, saying through the conversation, it's good to have all the information and the options, and then you can actually make an informed decision. We will, of course, the Koala team will be on hand to answer any questions regarding the actual process and applications, visas, any sort of detailed information that students and parents need. So I do encourage, and I hope that we will see a lot of prospective students at the event happening this next weekend, at the Novotel.
Amazing. Farooq?
We also have the British Council who are going to be present. They're going to be giving information about the IELTS testing, which is the English test that most students have to undertake before applying for a visa to Australia. So that will actually demystify all the issues around that, and what the test entails and how it is conducted. So again, good information to sort of know well in advance before you undertake these things. We will also have people from the Australian High Commission present at certain points just to clarify on issues as well, if required.
All right, amazing. So there you have it, all the information you need as you've marked your calendar for that fair next Saturday, 27th of September, Novotel, Nairobi. Study in Australia Fair. You've got all the details that you need from Monica and Farooq Lalji, Directors of Koala Education. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Malika. Thank you very much for having us. And we hope the conversation that we've had here, hopefully it will benefit students and parents out there. And we look forward to seeing a lot of them coming to our event next Saturday. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm sure everybody is definitely geared to attend. All right, stay with us on Radio 44. Lots more music coming your way.